You're listening to Not Your Sister podcast.
Yes, we're both redheads.
No, we're not sisters. I'm not your sister, Christine.
And I'm not your sister, Amanda.
Sorry that I'm wearing sunglasses for our video viewers. I'm really hungover today. I ate a lot of ice cream last night at Tillamook Creamery. We're in Newport, Oregon right now, and it's a coastal town, and the Tillamook factory is like cheese. It's all dairy stuff, cheese and ice cream and all that stuff. But we went there yesterday and did a self-guided tour, and we got ice cream at the end, and she loaded me up.
She did. Every third or fourth person had a piling mountain of ice cream on their cone, and it's because the same girl was just fucking plopping it on there.
And I felt like I paid for it, so I had to basically eat it all.
We came from
Labor Day.
That's what we did last weekend. And from here, we're going to Tahiti Falls
and Umpqua
National Forest,
which I just actually heard is burning down 30,000 acres. So we're going to have to
really
see
sad.
if that's affecting the route at all.
But
I couldn't really find
nature.
It is affecting nature. More importantly, I hope it doesn't affect our route.
More importantly.
And our trip to the hot springs.
We're going to get canceled before we get started. So Labor Day over the weekend.
Yeah, truly epic experience in our first time at the Gorge Amphitheater.
Sold us on every year going forward.
Yes, we will be every year.
So it's held in Washington, outside of Quincy. It's actually technically
called George, Washington.
Held at the Gorge Amphitheater.
Yes, the Gorge in George.
We actually entered this not knowing what we were signing up for. We were already on the road because a lot of the planning that we've done and booking that we did, we were already past Ohio. We didn't really do much planning, just very loose.
No planning at all.
Yeah, ideas of what states we wanted to go to. I knew the Gorge was in Washington, and I was like, we have to go to the Gorge Amphitheater. Let's look who's going to be there that weekend, the first weekend in September. So we look it up, and it says Dave Matthews Band's playing there 3 nights in a row. We're like, awesome, we love Dave. And I remember thinking at the time that it seemed like it was, I feel like this is something iconic. I feel like I've heard about Labor Day Dave Matthews Band at the Gorge. And little did I know, it was more iconic than we thought. So Dave's been playing at the Gorge since 2001. So it's been going on for 24 years. And we met a couple people that have literally been going for 20 years.
Yeah, it's like a whole culture there. Like everyone you meet, it's like, it's not like, hey, what's your name? It's like, hey, how many times have you been coming to Labor Day?
Yeah. Hi, nice to meet you. So what year is it for you?
But it's not like people are judgy either, because obviously it was our first time and we told everyone and they were so excited. But everyone also felt the need to go above and beyond and tell us all these tips that we needed for Labor Day.
Yeah, and they don't really care what your answer is when they ask you how many years they've been going. They just want a prompt to be able to tell you how many years they've been going.
As long as their number is bigger than yours, they don't really care.
Somewhere that we met most of the people was even before the show. The weather was really hot that whole weekend.
Well, because it's in the desert.
Right. So we learned too through this. I guess maybe we just didn't really know geography before.
No,
but
I didn't.
The east side of Washington is desert, and the west side of Washington is rainforest and the coast and wet and cold.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really quite the contrast, especially because you can drive. Basically, you could drive one side to the other in a day.
Yeah. So we were on the desert side of Washington, and we also are obsessed with water. We're the happiest when we're in water. So the first thing that we do right when we get there is look up where we can go to water. And we found a place called Rattlesnake Cove,
which was down right in the Gorge area. Well, the Gorge, I guess, is kind of a broad term. The Gorge Amphitheater is at the Gorge that is made by the Columbia, or split by the Columbia River, which ultimately long ago was formed by a melted glacier coming from Montana. And it split through this area, and now there's just 2 huge rock formations on either side, and the Columbia River flows through it.
One of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, and we spent the whole weekend there basically.
Yeah, basically every single day.
When we weren't at the shows, we were at Rattlesnake Cove. the Columbia River, our new favorite place.
Seriously, it's so nice. The water is so beautiful. It's clear. It's clean. It's, comfortably warm.
We're floaty connoisseurs at this point in our lives.
Well, it all started when we didn't have any.
And we were looking at other people
in envy.
In such envy. So we decided to drop everything and go to Walmart and look for some floaties.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones, ironically, that we ended up getting, we weren't that thrilled with.
No, we were like, I guess we'll get these because we initially wanted one that was like the size of like a double mattress.
Yes. We literally wanted to have a bed in the water.
Because we saw one when we were in Idaho, someone had a huge one that was like a mattress and we're like, oh my God, we're going to get one of those. But they didn't have them at Walmart.
It's hard to come by the really big floaties.
And I feel like, it's more of like a specialty store thing.
Yeah, or like the internet. But turns out the floaties that we got turned out to be iconic. I mean, people were recognizing us by our floaties.
At the show 2 days later. They're like, oh my God, you're the girls with the floaties. We're like, what?
They're rainbow. And they have confetti in them. But it's like a bed.
It's like a twin size. So we have two single piece.
I mean, we've grown appreciation for them and now we're obsessed with our floaties.
Obsessed. And they have like a perfect headrest. And I'm tall and long. So I actually fit on it without hanging off the edge.
Everywhere we go, everyone's like, I love your floaties. Before they even say like, hi.
Mm-hmm.
Floaties.
Floaty. Yeah. Everyone that goes to the Dave shows goes to Rattlesnake Cove because it's super close to the amphitheater where basically everyone camps. And it's just like the gathering grounds for everyone that's going to the shows and everyone that's staying overnight.
The watering hole of
Labor Day.
The shows are Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. And we went to the Cove on Friday before the first show. So we met a lot of people that were going to be going to the shows even before we went.
And that's where we started to learn some tips about the gorge itself.
Mm-hmm. What were some tips that you remember?
Well, one specifically from Lynn. I hope you're listening. She's been going for 6 years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that make sure when you go to the gorge, be very present in the moment when you get up to the top of the hill, like where the lawn is. Because she said that's going to be your first view where you get to see the amphitheater behind the gorge. And she just said, make sure like you're present in that moment so you can see that first view and make sure you take it all in.
When you're a first timer.
Yeah. Another tip someone was saying was if you want to make sure you have a good seat, people get there really early.
Yeah, and I think it's mainly to the terrace parts of the lawn that people go early to claim.
Yeah, so I guess those are sought after.
The steep lawn, and then it's a wide sidewalk, and then there's like these natural terraces in the lawn that people set up on. But usually when Christina and I go to shows, we don't really stay in one place. We always try to get in the pit.
We're always looking for the next best spot
to
get closer to the pit.
And this was a very unique experience for us because every day we pretty much went to the same spot and we stayed there the whole time. The third day we even brought a blanket.
Yeah, honestly,
which is unheard of.
No, yeah, we would never ever want to carry anything extra.
Because we're usually flying around.
Yeah, but it worked out great. The blanket was awesome.
The blanket was like the best part.
Because it does save your space and it's comfortable to sit down on when you're waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And we were on like pretty rough pavement.
Terrain.
So it felt good to be able to sit down. And by the third night, Lord, we needed it.
Well, what I loved about the gorge was where we were on the lawn. It was after that sidewalk, right at the edge of it, before the terraces. The people that are on the terraces are under you. So you can't really even see them in your direct view of the stage. Mm-hmm. So it literally just feels like you're on like the edge of the world. And then there's a band right there. Like it was absolutely stunning. You saw the whole view of the gorge behind the stage. The sunset, everything. It was perfect. And there was so much room to dance and flail around, which I love.
Yes, there was plenty of room for dancing.
And what's cool about it is a lot of venues that we've gone to, the security is crazy about you being in spaces where people are supposed to be.
Oh yeah, the
walking.
pathways they're literally monitoring with flashlights. I've gotten kicked out of so many walkways.
So many paths.
But it's like, that's like the best place to be because it's flat and there's so much room.
I saw one security guard on the sidewalk the whole time,
And they were dancing.
and I'm pretty sure he was tripping.
Oh, that I saw that guy. He was kind of recognizable, but I saw him every single time after that.
Dancing on
He
the
was
sidewalk.
literally like in the crowd.
He was
with
there
everyone
for
else.
the show.
Yeah, he wasn't even working. Who's holding him accountable? He's got this huge water bottle filled with vodka. He didn't care.
Probably.
Something.
Vodka, probably.
I guess like there's a little history about the Gorge.
Something that people were telling us, which I don't know if it was just rumored, but I had been told multiple times. I can sense that the Labor Day crowd loves a rumor. But something that they were saying was that when Dave played here back in the early 2000s, he said, "I'm not coming back unless you make it bigger." And that's when the Gorge expanded.
I never even heard that. That sounds like a rumor.
I had multiple people tell me that. But then we watched a documentary.
Yeah, it was called Gorge Enormous. It's on YouTube. Highly recommend it.
It was actually really a great documentary.
It was so good and so informative, and like had like accounts from artists that have played there and the owners and just people that go there and people that are involved in the whole making of it. There's a winery next door called Cave B, and it was the owners of the winery that made the amphitheater. And it started off super small, and then over the years progressively got bigger and bigger, and then big names started coming through there, like really big names.
Well, and artists were coming there and they were loving performing there, but there wasn't a lot of accommodations for the artists. So it was hard for them to get out there because it was like a dirt space in the middle of nowhere. There was barely dressing areas for them to get ready. There was like a trailer and it was kind of dumpy, that they were saying in the documentary.
Like no good bathrooms. One of the artists that had played there was talking a lot of trash about the conditions for the artists. Like that they had terrible bathrooms and they never wanted to go back because it was like such poor conditions.
But they loved playing there. But there was an artist on the documentary that had said they felt so strongly spiritually while they were performing that they said to the crowd, "I want to play every song that I know and that I've ever played, even if it takes me all night," because they loved it that much.
And the crowd erupted.
I would have loved to have been there and it been an artist that I loved that said that.
But at this point, the Gorge is so big. The capacity is like 25,000 people. So the only time a small name is coming through there is if they're an opener for someone huge.
Yeah.
There was a clip in the documentary with Jason Mraz. There was like a little tiny stage in the parking lot that I guess they used to have small artists on. And Jason Mraz was like just starting out. He's super young and he's like on stage in the parking lot playing music. And then they flash over to Dave Matthews and he's like walking up to the stage to see what's going on and hear the music. And then Jason Mraz is like, "Oh, do you want to come up here and play?" And next thing you know, Dave Matthews is on stage. They weren't playing together though because they only had one guitar. So now Jason Mraz is like this guy that's like trying up and coming, and Dave Matthews kicks him off this tiny stage and starts shredding in the parking lot for everyone.
But then it flashed forward to Jason Mraz like selling out the Gorge himself on the main stage.
Right, and he was like basically owed everything to that moment because once Dave Matthews got on stage, obviously the crowd around that little stage got huge, and then Jason went back on.
And he was kind of known for that time. Like people knew of him as the guy that was playing in the parking lot when Dave went out there.
Right. So that was a cool story. But Gorge Enormous on YouTube. It's a really good documentary.
The Dave shows were amazing. The Dave fans were
questionable.
Interesting.
I told her that I seriously think that if I started seeing someone and they told me they're a Dave Matthews fan, I would call it a red flag.
Instant red flag. And that they're most likely an alcoholic.
Everyone there is a raging alcoholic. We were starting to think that Dave Matthews was a raging alcoholic.
Well, I think Dave Matthews is a self-proclaimed alcoholic.
Yeah, because I was obsessing over it, so I had to like look into it. And there is an article in a magazine that he was interviewed for. This is like a direct quote from him. He said that by most people's standards, I would be classified as a raging alcoholic.
Mm-hmm. Verbatim.
But then there was something following that discredited it.
Our favorite show was the second night because he played two of our favorite songs, Don't Drink the Water and
Halloween.
The people that we were next to before the show, I was telling them how I like to basically just throw my body parts around and call it dancing. So after Halloween, one of them turned to me and was like, on a scale of 1 to 10 of your flailing, like how high was that? And I was like, that was like an 11.
Yeah, Halloween was nasty.
I wanted to bang my head against the sidewalk.
It was amazing. Throw your body up against the wall. Because it was so grungy and like so like metal. And he gets this like deep, gravelly screamo voice.
Halloween is one that we listen to on Spotify and we're obsessed with it. But we always talk about how we don't think he plays it anymore.
Just a pure assumption.
So then we look it up and he'd played it in July of this year once. And then he played it once in 2024. The last time they played it was 2018 before that.
So it's not really a very much played song.
Right. We don't really hear of it that much. And we've seen Dave a couple times and have never heard it. So when we were at the show, we had still had this assumption that they don't play it anymore because he's not as young anymore.
It's like a hard song to sing. It's just screaming, but it's still hard.
And we heard the song start, and I turned to Christine and I was like, what if this was Halloween? She's like, I don't know. So then it starts going, a couple notes hit, and we both turned to each other at the same time, screamed at the top of our lungs, it is.
Yeah, and then I basically just wanted to be in a mosh pit at that point. As soon as it ended, we wanted it to go again.
Camping at the Gorge.
Yeah, most people camp at the Gorge because it's enormous and like it's just open fields that are just used for camping. Tents, RVs, car camping, anything.
And alcoholics love to gather together.
I mean, it's an alcoholic's dream not to have to drive after a show.
And all to be together after.
And to be able to drink all day, all night for 3 days straight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a breeding ground for alcoholism.
That being said, I don't think we would like the camping because we want to be going to the Cove every day. Mm-hmm. And our friend that was camping there, I asked her if she wanted to meet us there. And she was like, I really don't think I'll be able to get out. It's crazy to even get out of the Gorge camping.
Yeah, because they pack you in like sardines. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, you are going to be here for 3 days straight and you're not leaving. You're only staying to drink.
Or walk to the winery.
If you're not drinking, you're not camping here. A prerequisite for camping there was alcoholism.
Already being drunk.
They breathalyze you at the door. And if
you're under the legal limit,
you can't camp there.
They literally will send dogs on you.
If you're not carrying drugs and alcohol, you can't camp. So we ended up camping a bit away at Shady Tree RV.
And shady it was.
Oh, shady it was.
On the phone, the woman that we spoke to, she was very sweet. She said that it was a long stay RV campground.
The whole thing about the thing was sketchy, talking to her. She's like, you have to call like a day ahead to see if there's availability. It's like, who does that?
They don't do reservations.
No reservations.
Because once you're in a spot, you can stay as long as you damn well please.
So people live there.
When we got there, no one had wheels on their fucking RVs.
No, they're all boarded up. And it's not like boarded up in the nice way, like with a porch and a little roof. Like boarded up like windows with bars on them. People are not leaving Shady Tree RV.
It was a dump.
A complete dump.
Then we found out at the end of the weekend a little backstory on Shady Tree.
Mm-hmm. This is actually what the person told us. They said, they were like, you're sitting at Shady Tree. There's like a lot of gang violence there. There was a murder there recently, or a couple years ago. And I guess it resulted in a woman being stabbed to death.
No. They stabbed a note through her chest.
Yeah, I forgot exactly what the note said.
I don't know what the cause of death was, but they stabbed a note through her chest, and the note was in Spanish.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
So we're like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. We're staying in a gang area?
But at the same time, it made sense.
It made sense. And actually, by the time we learned it, we had left.
Yeah, we weren't going back there.
So we survived it. But now, you know, I'm thinking like, I need to learn about this homicide. So I search it. Nowhere in the article at all did it say there was a stabbing. Someone was shot.
Oh.
But it wasn't on the Shady Tree grounds. It was like down the river a bit. And that's where her body was found.
Well, maybe she was shot and then they stabbed the note in her chest to like leave this.
Yeah, like put a fork in it.
Yeah. And leave a warning for anyone else.
Yeah, warning. I don't know. The people that did it and the woman that was killed all resided. What?
Resided?
All resided at Shady Tree RV.
Mm-hmm.
Resort.
Shady Tree RV resort. We made it out alive.
Mm-hmm.
And better than ever. We had a fantastic end to our weekend after we left Shady Tree RV.
Mm-hmm. We rolled right into Brian's.
Brian. So Brian, like we said, everyone goes to Rattlesnake Cove during the days, except for the people camping at the Gorge because they can't get out and they're drunk.
They're too wasted to drive.
There are so many cars just lining up and down these streets. So you have to get there pretty early. But we were getting there probably like 12 p.m.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little bit later. So we were having to park pretty far away. And the first day we scored a golf cart ride because it's a community too. Rattlesnake Cove is right at the beginning of a Sunland, which is a living community, like a development kind of.
Yeah, it's really
But they have
weird.
their own store.
So you start at the top and you go down like a series of switchbacks to get down to this little community that leads you into where the river is. And it's just a residential community, but they have like one little gas pump and a little tiny store. Mm-hmm. But it's all just houses. But it's like a dead end area, so there's only one way in and one way out. Mm-hmm. And it's called Sunland. And it's just like big money area.
I love Sunland.
It's like dystopian.
I want to live in Sunland.
So do I.
Dystopian? You mean
utopian?
Yeah.
It's a utopian society. Well, that's what it felt like for us.
Yes. The second day that we're there, we had to park even further, and we're carrying our blown up floaties down this mountain, basically.
Down and up.
Yeah, really steep, long walk to the cove from where we parked.
But a quick golf cart ride.
Yes. So we spotted another golf cart, and we were like, hey, you bring us to the cove? And he was like, well, I'm not going that way, but it's really close. Like, I'll bring you up there. Mm-hmm. And this is Brian. Sweet
Our
Brian,
Lord and Savior.
Our golf cart savior. We chat during the golf cart ride, get to know him a little bit. He drops us off. And that's, you know, the end of when we see Brian. We end up spending
Never
the day
thought
at the
we
cove.
would see him again.
Mm-hmm. Went to the show, came back to the cove the next day. So when we were leaving the next day,
the third show.
What we thought was our last day at Rattlesnake Cove at the Columbia River. Mm-hmm. We hear a guy, as we're walking up to our camper, yell, girls, do you remember me? And we turn around,
we do.
And it's sweet Brian.
He saw the tail ends of our tubes came flying out of the house.
Came flying out because we later learned that he literally lived right where we were parking every day. That was his driveway. He asked us what we were doing on Labor Day because it was Sunday and we were going to be leaving in the morning to head to Cannon Beach. We were going to leave pretty early because Cannon Beach is like 5.5 hours away. Mm-hmm. So we were like, oh, we're leaving tomorrow. And he was like, well, that's a stupid idea because it's Labor Day and you're going to spend 7 hours in traffic. Mm-hmm. But I have 2 seats for you ladies at my friend's boat tomorrow if you want to come to the dunes. And we ended up saying, okay, well, we'll look into it, see if we can move some stuff around, and we'll let you know. And he gave us his number. But as soon as we walked away from him, we were like, what are we even thinking? Like, we're going.
Yeah, we got to the top of the hill and called the campground to get a refund.
Immediately. Surprisingly, gave no pushback.
Shockingly.
So we were really happy about that. And immediately texted Brian and was like, we're coming. What time do we have to be there and where?
11 a.m. Brian's driveway.
The next morning, we head to Brian's. And that is where we meet our next slew of characters. Brian and his friends, they've been friends since they were kids. They grew up together and they're still friends now. And essentially, like, they were neighborhood friends as kids, and now they're just playing together as adults. We get there, and Brian introduces us to the crew. It was Brian and his brother, Ed. Then their friends, Mike and Alan, who are brothers. John, who is
The star of the show.
Brian's brother-in-law. And their friend, Steph. All friends their whole lives. And that was who was going to be on the boat. It was Mike's boat. Beautiful boat.
Gorgeous.
$300,000 boat.
He didn't.
2021.
Wasn't ashamed to tell us the price of it either.
We loved Mike. We loved everyone.
They were all perfect. But the boat was insane, gorgeous wakeboard boat.
And they made sure we knew that it was not a tubing boat. It was a surfing boat.
And there was only two rules on the boat.
1, you had to be drinking. 2, no shoes on the boat.
No shoes on the boat. This boat was pristine.
And you literally almost broke your neck every time trying to get up while you were climbing this teeny little ladder and simultaneously taking off your shoes.
And carrying a gallon of water.
And carrying all your shit.
I did not want to break a rule on the boat.
We went to this place called the Dunes, the Sand Dunes. It was beautiful.
It was just down the river a bit behind the Gorge Amphitheater.
Around the corner. It was like a sandbar. And everyone in the area pulls up. And you technically didn't go to the dunes unless you touched the sand with your feet. So
Per Brian.
A lot of things Brian told us. A lot of things are going to be per Brian in this story. The sand dunes were really fun.
We ran up to the top of them and got the view up there. The sand was so silky and soft and white. It was really nice sand.
And we spent that time in the dunes pretty much getting to know everyone.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know anyone that was on the boat. So we kind of just got to know everyone. And honestly, we instantly fell into the group.
Yeah, it was so comfortable because they're obviously so comfortable with each other. It was like instantly so comfortable. We were like talking back to them, joking around. Everyone's like, it was just like we had been friends with them forever.
It was really fun. After the dunes, they wanted to go surfing. The boat is actually a surfing boat. I thought Mike was just being kind of facetious when he said it.
Oh, no.
But it actually is a boat meant for surfing. There's tanks that fill up with water and like different tanks at different parts of the boat that create wakes and waves meant for surfing. And you can pick which side the wave is going on. And basically all the controls are right on the boat, which is really cool.
Yeah, there was like a lot of computer systems and huge screens in like where the captain sits.
Brian was the first one to go surfing.
Obviously.
And the whole time, even when we were at the dunes, they were like, you have to try surfing. And I am trying this new thing where unless I literally feel unsafe, I'm forcing myself to say yes to everything. So they were like, do you want to try surfing? And I was like, yes, I guess. But I really didn't think I was going to be able to do it. Like I thought it seemed really hard. I have no upper body strength or lower body strength. I don't work out. So I was nervous about it, but Brian went first, and everything that Brian does, he makes it look like it's so easy.
He just pops up, throws the rope. He's surfing this wave forever. He's like shredding the wave.
Literally shredding it. Doesn't even fall.
No.
When he did fall, it was because he chose to be done and jumped off.
Yeah. He's like a regional water ski champion.
Grew up wakeboarding, water skiing, doing all the different water
rock
sports.
Climbing, downhill ski, surfing, boat surfing.
Any hobby that you can think of, Brian's mastered it.
And he's climbed and summited Mount Rainier.
Big happenings. So after Brian goes, a couple of the other guys go, and then they're like, all right, man, it's your turn to try. I'm like, you guys, I'm not going to be able to do it. They're like, don't say that, don't say that.
Everyone's cheering.
Johnny Boy has the flag.
Yeah, they have this little orange flag. The rules in Washington are actually quite ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a law that you have to wave the flag, even if there's no other boats around, if there is someone that is
in the water.
So as soon as someone falls off, you have to put the flag up.
And hold it up basically until they get back up on the surfboard.
We saw someone else do the flag earlier in the weekend, and we were like, okay, that's so extra. But whatever.
Yeah, we were like, why are they doing that?
But then we found out later that it's a law. It took me about 5 tries of literally not even getting up on the board. It is so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, it's a weight distribution thing and being able to flip the board the right way all at once. If you don't actually get the feel for it, like you don't feel it happen, it's hard to really explain to someone how to do it. So Brian got in the water, and after the 5th time of me not being able to get up, and helped me. So as the boat started going, he helped flip my board a little bit, and then I did eventually get up on the waves. So that was really fun. He said that's what he does for the kids.
Yeah, because he is a water ski instructor.
Christine never got to try.
Because
there was an incident.
A big injury.
Big injury. Steph went after me. She was going to go, and then Christine was going to try it so that we could see another person showing us how to do it.
Yeah, because there was a lot of opinions going on.
I don't know. I wasn't in the boat.
Oh, a lot of opinions. Alan was telling stuff, and then Mike was giving instruction, and then John, who never has done it in his life, was also giving pointers.
Mike was so funny because it was Mike's boat and he was driving. Every time he'd circle back, he'd give me like a thumbs up. And I'd be like, Mike, I literally did not even get up off the board. And he's like, you're close. You're close.
He's like, she's really close. She's really close.
I'm like, oh my God.
Mike was like so matter of fact.
I loved him.
I loved him too.
Everyone had their own
quirks and
personalities, and they just all fit together so perfectly.
So the injury.
Steph goes out onto the surfboard.
Not good.
And she gets up the first time.
No problem.
No problem. Gets right up.
She's very athletic too. So she got up no problem the first time.
Then she goes to go up a second time, and she doesn't get up. It looked like the times that I went.
Yeah.
So then they pull back around to her and start kind of giving her grief. They're like, you got to go again. You got to go again. She's like, no, I popped my knee out. I can't go again. And they were like, oh, okay. So she gets up on the boat, and at first it kind of just seemed like she tweaked it, like hit it the wrong way and it's sore and she can't really walk on it. Kind of like you twist your ankle is what it seemed like.
Yeah, because they were like helping her on the boat and she wasn't putting any pressure on the knee. Like it was like kind of bent, but she wasn't putting any pressure.
After probably, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds, it just progressively became a 911 situation.
Yeah, because it was like very quickly, all of a sudden, she's in excruciating pain.
Agonizing pain. Shaking, saying she'd never felt anything like it. Asking for something to throw up in because the pain was so severe.
And at that point, we still had like a 10-minute boat ride back to the launch. So Mike's on the phone with 911, getting them to the launch so when we get there, like she can go. And she had a really hard time getting comfortable on the boat ride because it's obviously like kind of rough and like you're bouncing constantly the whole ride. And she looked like she was in agony.
Absolute agony. We felt so bad for Steph. Christine's like in the water getting ready to surf.
Yeah, Brian's like getting his life jacket on, popping in with me, and we're like, we're ready. And Mike's on the phone with 911. He's like, can everyone get in the boat? Everybody needs to get in the boat. And I'm like, holy shit.
Christine was actually peeing.
I couldn't pee. I was trying to
hold on, I'm getting up. I knew exactly what you were doing. We actually haven't even talked about this. But I knew exactly that she was trying to pee off the side of the boat because we'd been in this boat for hours.
Yeah.
Her and I drink a fucking gallon of water a day. So both of us, as soon as I got in the water to surf, I started peeing. Brian was like trying to explain to me what I was doing, and I really couldn't even focus until I was done peeing. But I couldn't stop. I was peeing for so long. But I knew exactly what you were doing because Mike's like, everybody get in the boat, and you're just sitting there.
I'm like, I'm coming.
And I knew she was peeing because I'm like, she wouldn't just be sitting there not moving.
In an emergency.
But
I couldn't even end up going because there was so much hoopla.
And you weren't going? I thought you were.
I was trying to, but it wouldn't come out.
Oh, I thought it was like midstream and you were just finishing up.
No. It came out like a little, then I had to stop because Mike was saying everyone need to get in. So I fly in. And that's another rule or another law in Washington. Everyone needs to be like in the boat cab. sitting. Like, you can't even, like, sit. It's so dumb.
Because there were seats on the back of Mike's boat, but
Like,
you have to be
lounger
inside.
seats, but you can't sit in them.
It very well may be a law in New York, too. I don't even know.
Well, it's not enforced. Or anywhere I've been. So we all get back in the boat. We're flying over to the dock. Like I said, it's very uncomfortable for her. And then we get there. And actually, the ambulance wasn't even there yet. It was just
we had to
the
wait for the ambulance. The firefighters were local. Sunland is set outside of the main areas. So there isn't really any hospital
there's
nearby.
No hospital.
So the firefighters are local to Sunland. I think they have their own volunteer firefighters.
Yeah.
So they were there at the launch with some paramedics, but then they had to wait for the ambulance, which was like 15 minutes.
Yeah. And they couldn't really do anything. I mean, they just were there.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally the ambulance showed up and they got her off the boat onto a stretcher. And then they brought her to the local hospital, which wasn't able to do much because it was actually more serious than we even thought.
Yeah. We got some bonding time in the boat with Mike, though, because Mike was kind of just cruising around near the launch because we were waiting for the guys to get the
for
trailer.
Jabberjaws to go get the trailer.
And we can't come to find out the reason it took so long and we got to know Mike's whole life story is because John was chatting with some random guy when he was supposed to be getting the trailer.
Mm-hmm. So we're doing circles in the lake while
for
John's running
20 minutes because John couldn't stop talking.
And then he made eye contact with Brian and then he snapped out of it and ran and got the car.
Because he knew Brian was going to freak out.
So she's at the local hospital. They can't do much for her. They tell her she has to go to Seattle, which is like
Seattle! Like it's a person. She has to go Seattle.
And now she's going to Seattle. And Seattle is 3 hours away. Because she's being rushed into emergency surgery. She fractured her tibia and fibia.
Literally broke her bones trying to surf. Christine was glad she didn't try that day.
I guess it was a godsend that I never got to go on the surfboard. Because that could have been one of us.
We could have broken a bone. It was godsend.
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 It was godsend.
But our day, luckily, did not have to end there.
Thankfully.
And
with Steph and Ed gone, it opened up 2 more seats at the dinner table.
Mm-hmm. So Brian said, do you guys want to come to my mom's for dinner with everyone? And we were like, obviously.
Yeah. No hesitation there.
We got to go meet the lovely Diana, Brian and Ed's mom.
Mm-hmm. Such a sweetheart.
She was the matriarch of the neighborhood kids group.
Mm-hmm. Mike actually lived with her at one point.
Mm-hmm. It's so cute because, like I was saying, the boys, basically, it's like they're neighborhood kids. They go and play out on the boat all day, then come back and have dinner at Brian's mom's house. It's so cute. So the guys are all in the kitchen making different stuff, and she's just sitting in the living room in her chair.
Her
throne, drinking her lemon drop.
Yeah, she likes those.
And while the boys just kind of take over and mess with her, and it's really so cozy. Endearing.
It was just such
and we were so grateful to be able to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. It was such a highlight of our trip.
It really was.
And the dinner was really good.
John was in the kitchen taking over.
John, another example of him jabbering at the jaw, was all of a sudden Brian's in the living room and he yells into the kitchen, John, the pan's smoking behind you. The pan was on the stove, smoke flying up from it, on high. Nothing even in the pan while he's turned around completely, blabbering at Christine about God knows what.
I have no idea.
And he's like, oh my God.
Oh, and then doesn't do anything, doesn't put anything in the pan, does it again.
Just turns the pan. I thought he turned it off.
I don't even think he probably turned it down.
Yeah. Then literally turned around, turned the knob, turned back around to continue whatever he was saying. Could not stop.
Couldn't stop. He can't stop. Once you've got his attention, even if you don't actually have his attention, can't stop.
He zeroes in. We love John.
We do love John.
After dinner at Mom's, we went back to Brian's for dessert. And Brian actually had a 30 amp hookup. So we canceled our night in Cannon Beach, obviously. But instead of staying at a Harvest Host, we just stayed at Brian's in the driveway. We just hooked up. It was
amazing.
Perfect. Brian had just built his house.
Gorgeous.
Built it himself.
Beautiful
It's been
home.
done for like a year. And it's perfect. It's the perfect size, most beautiful view, the perfect spot on the river. Our new home for Labor Day.
Yeah, we will
for
be.
years to come.
We will be moving into Brian's for a week every Labor Day.
We were going to play a game. I wanted to teach everyone how to play pitch because it's my favorite card game and I can never find people other than in my family that know how to play pitch. I was like, this is perfect. Guys that like to play cards, like I'll teach everyone how to play pitch. But Brian pulled me aside and told me that we can't. Sorry, Brian, to air out your secrets. He said that we better not because John can't really handle it.
There's no way we could even get through a tenth of the instruction with John's jabber.
Which is true. We tried to get through the podcast. They asked about the podcast, so we ended up going into Brian's movie room, the movie theater, and putting it on the big screen. And then the guys were watching it and critiquing it for us.
From what they could hear over John's jabber.
Because John would not stop. At one point, he got kicked out. And then he came back. We loved when John was in there. We didn't want him to leave.
No, we didn't want him to leave.
He was stuck on this loop, fixated on the fact that we looked different on the screen than we did in real life.
He was like insistent that it wasn't even the same person. Even though we don't really look that different.
I really don't think that we do. Although Brian and Alan really didn't chime in, so I'm not entirely sure.
I don't, maybe because her hair was down? I don't even know.
Yeah.
But John was like going in circles about how you don't need to wear makeup and you don't look good on camera and you're way more beautiful in person, but you can pull it off, and just circling around the same
over and over.
I was like, what, Jen? I'm ugly? And he's like, that's not what I'm saying. You're not listening.
You're not listening.
Literally every single thing he said ended up contradicting the next thing he said.
Yes. Then he stormed out. When he came back in, he busted through the door. He said, girls, drop everything. Come outside. You need to come outside right now.
You need to get up and you need to come outside. When John says, you go.
Or you'll never hear the end of it. So we go outside, and it actually was the most beautiful, picturesque view ever.
Yes, the moon was like a yellowish orangish hue, casting its beautiful glow on the Columbia River.
Stunning. The next morning was another fun day.
Thanks to Brian.
Thanks to Brian and his batteries. Brian's batteries.
Brian has a lot of batteries, and what he means by that is all his
toys.
His toys and cars and boats and campers. Jet skis.
It has 5 cars. Just kidding. It was 4, wasn't it?
He has 4 cars. He has 4
cars. And it
cars.
was 5, but he had just sold one of them recently.
He has 2 boats. Actually, I think he has 3 boats.
2 jet skis.
2 jet skis.
A camper.
2 campers.
2 campers. A golf cart.
A golf cart. I forgot about the golf cart.
The famous golf cart.
Yeah, Brian's got a lot of batteries, and he wanted to share some with us.
So we got to use a couple more batteries that morning. We get up. We go out onto Brian's deck. Now, Brian is very go, go, go. Type A, needs to be doing something at all times. Cannot sit still.
Loves a sport, loves a competition.
It is 9:00 in the morning. We go out to the deck. It is so beautiful. The water is like glass. It's quiet. There's no one out on the water yet. The second that my butt hits the chair and I exhale, Brian flies up and says, we got to connect the jet skis. We got to go, girls.
So let's get those jet skis in.
I'm kicking back. I'm taking it in. I'm saying, I could sit here forever. He turns to me. He says, at some point, you're going to need to get off your ass.
Brian's not happy unless he's got 4 sports under his belt by 9.
By 9 a.m. The jet skis were the stand-up jet skis. So I had only ever seen people ride them. I actually really didn't even understand that they weren't always standing.
Yeah, no, I didn't either.
that they folded and that you have
Yeah.
to stand up and pull it up. So these jet skis are more for sport. They are not a leisure jet ski. You're not taking a gentle cruise
No.
or even a fast cruise. You're not cruising.
It's not a cruiser.
You are holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
With every muscle engaged and all of your focus.
There's 2 jet skis. He's on the souped up one because it goes too fast for us. And
But he said we couldn't ride the souped up ones because it was dangerous.
And he was protecting our safety. So he gives us, I guess, the slow one, which didn't end up feeling that slow to me. And what you have to do is the jet ski's like fold in half so the handlebars are down. You're in the water at this point with your elbows like on the edges of the jet ski. You start it up, you give it the gas consistently. And while it's going, it helps you stabilize and you have to get both of your knees onto it. Then you pull the handlebars up and you can stand up with it. But it's a lot trickier than it sounds because it's very unbalanced.
You have to do it pretty much all in one swift motion.
Right, because then you let off the gas and then you lose your balance and then you kind of tip and turn.
In the words of Brian, the gas is your friend.
In which case was actually true.
And when turning, another famous Brian quote, turning is really the relationship between the gas, your balance, leaning, and turning the handlebars. The relationship.
It's all in the relationship. The turning while standing was definitely the hardest part.
Mm-hmm. So only one of us could be going on a jet ski at a time. So the other person, we brought out the famous floaty and we were just lounging in the sun while the other person would be driving around the river. And Brian was keeping the floaty person entertained by doing tricks on his jet ski.
He had tons of tricks up his sleeve. He was doing one-handed flips, turned around 360s.
Christine and I were talking and I look over behind her and Brian is riding with his legs straight up in the air and his back down. All we can see is the jet ski coming at us and his 2 legs with his head in the middle dragging. And I was like, look at Brian, look at Brian, look at Brian.
And he's like got his head turned to make sure we're watching. And then I started to wonder, like, is he doing those tricks because we're here, or is that how he always rides?
I think it's how he always rides.
It has to be if he's that practiced with it.
Definitely. And he was like, I don't really have any cool tricks left, but I could show you the ones my mom likes. And I'm like, go for it. And he's like, have you ever seen Blades of Glory?
I heard it. I think I was on the other one at that point, but I did hear Blades of Glory.
The jet skis were really fun. Another great experience at Brian's. I had the best burger of my entire life that day.
Yeah, it was up there.
I've only had 4 burgers ever, but all things considered, it was the best burger of my life. I actually didn't used to like burgers. Fun fact. Can you confirm?
Yeah, I'm not sure why, but all of a sudden you're on this burger kick.
Well, we did a 10-mile hike in the Grand Tetons, and then we had a situation.
Stay tuned.
We will talk about it, but that's a whole episode's worth.
Mm-hmm.
That kept us from being able to eat right after the hike. So I was more starving than I've ever been in my life.
It was bad.
I do want to recognize that we were constantly saying on this podcast how famished we are.
We're hungry.
We're growing girls. But this time I really was so starving that we were like almost in tears. We were like, I just need food inside of me. But Christina had to go to the hospital, so I get this burger. From that moment on, I'm like on a burger kick, and that's all I'm craving. But all things considered, the burger at the ranch, it's called, was the best burger of my life. It's this Mormon family who owns a farm. They decided to open a restaurant with the meat that they're raising on their farm. And they also have a meat counter in there. So you can get your burger and your fries and whatnot. You can also buy their meat.
Yeah,
restaurant.
The cuts, like the steak cuts in there.
Mm-hmm. We ended up getting ground beef so we could try and make our own smash burgers.
The fries were like a hand-cut fry that were fried in the beef tallow, which is the fat trimmings of the cow. And they just were like, I don't know what this beef tallow is all about, but it's really good shit.
Then we had to say our goodbyes to Brian.
It's not goodbye, it's see you later next Labor Day.
Next Labor Day. Every Labor Day from here on out, we will be staying at Brian's.
Absolutely. We've already got the spot reserved.
And eating at the ranch. A couple of days ago, I posted on our social media asking people, giving them the opportunity to ask questions that we would answer on the podcast. So we decided at the end of every episode, we're going to answer a couple of questions.
You asked it.
We answer. The first question: what is an overhyped place and an underhyped place?
All right.
I have an underhyped place. Yellowstone National Park is not the underhyped place.
No.
But the hike that we did when we were there was extremely underrated. Normally, when we go to a national park, we look up the different hikes that people do and look at different pictures and videos to decide which one we want to see. But a lot of the times, they're really popular hikes, really hyped, because everyone's seeing them online, so everyone's doing them. But this particular hike, I didn't really see any that blew my mind that were on social media. So I went onto All Trails and dug around for like an hour and ended up finding this hike. You start off by walking through this beautiful meadow where you can see for miles and miles. Then you go into the woods and come out near a couple of different lakes. They're small lakes, so serene, so beautiful, encapsulated by trees. And then you keep walking and it opens up into a field of geysers. It literally looks like Mars. It's like white molten rock, huge geysers with steam just coming up. It's this little pathway that you walk between all the geysers. And then it goes back into the woods where it's all green again. And it opens back up to the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. Absolutely breathtaking views.
Really pretty.
Finally, really, truly understood why it's called Yellowstone when I saw that Grand Canyon.
Oh, yeah, because the stone is actually yellow.
It is the most beautiful color yellow. There wasn't really anyone in the parking lot when we got there. So we just thought, I mean, we went really early. So we thought, oh, we've just gone early. But then when we got back, there were some people in the parking lot, but anyone that we talked to, they were doing a different trailhead. So no one...
But yeah, because they would start the same... They would go like the other direction where we came out, but they weren't going all the way around like we did.
Yeah. They were just going to main spots like Artist Point, which is a view of the waterfall in the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. But the views that we saw along the way before Artist Point were the most breathtaking views. You could literally see through the canyon for miles and miles, like forever.
Yeah, and Artist Point is really touristy and overcrowded. And the view there wasn't even really that good.
It really wasn't. Overhyped.
Overhyped for sure.
What's an overhyped place for you?
An overhyped place for me would unfortunately be Glacier National Park. Mostly because of restrictions. And they just make it really hard to get into the park. There's timed entrances now. So you have to plan, I would say probably 3 to 6 months in advance to even get your entrance time for whatever day you're planning on going.
Yeah, the shuttle tickets and the timed entry all dropped in April.
So the shuttle tickets were something that brought you to a portion of the park called Many Glacier that has been closed due to construction. And Many Glacier is where the hikes that we wanted to do were. So we were trying to get a shuttle ticket. And you have to log in the night before you want the shuttle ticket. And sales go on or start at 7 p.m. So we were all logged in, ready to go. 6:59. We've got it all set up. It's turns 7. We click purchase and we get locked out immediately because it's sold out.
Literally like Ticketmaster flashbacks.
Right.
PTSD.
It's like you're like really excited to go to this show and then you go to get the ticket and it's gone.
Sell out immediately.
We did that 3 nights in a row.
And we could not land these tickets.
So we didn't end up going. And then the other portion of it, which is highly unfortunate and not something that we've really experienced in other national parks, is that it is very, very limiting for RV traveling.
Not RV friendly at all.
No, because the main road that goes through the park is called Going to the Sun Road, and that's not equipped for RVs because it's narrow and windy. So we couldn't even drive that road in this rig, which ultimately led us to, because this is also
our biggest regret.
Yeah, one of our biggest regrets on the trip yet. Because of an overhype
Mm-hmm.
We're like,
We
oh
felt
my
like
God.
we had to do it.
We're like, we're at Glacier. We're not going to the Sun Road. So we went and rented a car on Turo for $200 for less than 24 hours.
Oof, that hurts.
It hurts to even think about
Mm-hmm.
twisting that knife. And we did the whole road, and it was, I would say, average in comparison to things that we have already done.
I'd say that if someone was just coming to Glacier National Park, they came right to the park and then went home after, going to the Sun Road, and maybe haven't really driven a lot around the area of the West,
Yeah.
that they might think that was incredible. But
Yeah,
we've been driving for the last 2 months, and we've seen some amazing, breathtaking views, and this just really wasn't all that spectacular.
No, it really wasn't, which
Comparatively.
is unfortunate. I mean, it was, now don't get me wrong,
It was beautiful.
but I would say Glacier as a whole is overhyped.
We didn't need to spend $200 to see that because we saw
No.
some really beautiful. I mean, people are like, this is a once in a lifetime drive. You'll never see anything like it.
We've seen
We saw
that
stuff
road
like it.
4 times before. Go to Colorado for free. So that's an overhype for me.
Mm-hmm. Carbondale to Aspen, Independence Pass.
Independence Pass.
The most beautiful drive I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely stunning. Now that is worth it.
That is worth it for sure.
Heated up the brakes pretty good, but that was worth it.
What are some unexpected expenses that you didn't anticipate before going on the trip, or like hurdles?
I would say, because it's kind of going off of what we just talked about with the limiting RV travel in Glacier, is that traveling in something of this size has a lot of pros and cons. And definitely something I didn't necessarily think of was, well, I kind of thought about it. I did think about that we couldn't drive it everywhere, particularly it was going to be hard to get around in cities. But I didn't really think about at all, which we've run into multiple times, is that
the trailheads.
These trailheads are on logging roads, off of logging roads, where they can be narrow, steep, and windy on gravel.
Rocks.
They're not kept at all. And driving something this size and of this nature, it's just not a good idea to be driving on those kind of roads. So either that we've done things like getting shuttles to these places, or we've had to kind of rearrange our plan that we just don't go there because we can't get there.
Yeah.
Because not every trailhead is going to have a shuttle.
Yeah. I guess an unexpected expense for me, which she didn't have this because she did a little bit more research into Harvest Host than I did. I was really just going off of a couple of things that she had told me, and I didn't look into it at all. But I had the understanding that Harvest Host, you paid for the membership, and then you could stay at all of these places for free for one night, and then any night after that you had to pay. I didn't realize that it was an extra expense for a hookup, like electricity hookup and water. I did hear that they encouraged you to spend money in their businesses.
Yeah.
But a lot of the places we went to, it's actually a requirement. They say you must spend $35 or pay in our store or pay $35, something like that.
I think people have started to explicitly state that, probably because people weren't doing it.
Yeah. So I was expecting to only have to pay for some nights if we weren't staying at a Harvest Host, staying at a campground or something like a hip camp. But we've actually had to pay some sort of expense every single night that we've stayed somewhere. But that's because we want electricity.
Yeah, we could easily be dry camping for free.
Yeah.
But we don't want to do that because usually it's in like semi-sketchy areas that you're pulling over. You don't know where you are.
Free camping is where it gets dicey.
It is, and we're not really trying to put ourselves in that situation.
Besides, it's really only anywhere from like $10 to $45 for a hookup. So it's really on the cheap end anyway. I just think it was an expense that I was not expecting.
Do you still think Harvest Host is worth the membership?
Yeah, I do. Especially because not even so much the price, but the convenience. Because we can book a Harvest Host last minute and we can cancel it last minute.
Yeah. And they're like, they don't really have check-in, check-out hours. It's way more flexible.
It's a great fallback plan.
Yeah.
Lastly, kind of goes off that, favorite place to camp or set up camp.
Okay, so I don't know. This kind of camping is not like your average weekend camping trip. So we haven't really been anywhere where we pull into the campsite and like set up and stay there forever.
Yeah.
So we don't really ever get anything out of the camper. We never put our chairs out. We never put table out, the rug, nothing. Because we're usually coming in late. We're really here to eat dinner and sleep and leave in the morning because it's very seldom that we stay in one place for more than 1 or 2 nights.
We're really not hanging out at our campsite.
No, never. So that's hard to answer, but I would say someplace that...
And there's fire bans everywhere. So it's not like we can just sit outside our camper at a fire.
No, we haven't had any campfires or anything like that. We do like a place with a full hookup.
A loose cancellation policy.
A very loose cancellation policy. An added view is nice, but not necessarily always desired.
I like to every so often staying at an actual campground because the campground has full hookup, electricity, water, dump station. It has showers.
Yeah, that's basically where we rely on showering.
Yes, we're like, oh, good, a campsite, we can shower. Because even if they charge for their showers, when we have a hookup, we know we can always refill and dump our gray water if we want to take a shower.
Yeah, so we can use our shower. And it's like less limiting because we can use more water because we can always refill and dump at a campground.
Exactly. So we do like campgrounds for that every so often. And sometimes they have Wi-Fi, which is nice because it's just a chance to be able to connect with all our people and check in and everything like that.
Most times it doesn't work.
And if there's not Wi-Fi, a lot of the times the service is bad. That's definitely been a challenge, but it's not the worst thing in the world. No. It's just being able to let our parents know where we are.
Yes, mommy.
That's about it. I think that's it for the questions this week.
Yep. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Goodbye. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.